Hi guys, today I'm going to have a crack at this ASSA Desmo that I recently got off Artichoke 2000. I'll leave a link for Artie's channel in the description. Go and have a look. Fantastic videos, very educational. You will learn something. Okay, so I'm going to have a go at this. Well, first things first, I'm going to pull this little bar off the back because it doesn't fit in my vise correctly with that thing attached to it. So we'll get that off real quick. Chuck that in the pinning mat. Alright. Obviously, anytime you take the back off a lock, be careful that you don't pull the core out through the front. It does still work with the key. And when you go to take your key out, finger on the front. That way you don't pull everything out and have springs and crap go everywhere. This does not have springs. This has 8 pins and 2 sidebars. So that's the bitting for the first set of pins, and that's the bitting for the second set of pins. Really cool locks. This notch I don't think does anything. There's no pins at the top. Alright, so let's get cracking on this thing. Now the pins are not sprung. So what I like to do, there are no springs on the pins whatsoever. There are only 2 springs in this lock, one for each sidebar. So I like to pull all of the pins all the way down to the bottom and start like that, because each pin has a overset trap in it, which is basically a giant spool section that you will get stuck in. Okay, so 1 is loose. 2 gives a little click on the right hand side. I'm picking the right first. 3 gave a little click. Just trying to find 4. No good when you've lost yourself. Just got to position this vise a bit better. Okay. So 4 feels set, 3 feels set, 2 feels set, 1 bit of a nudge, and it's rock solid. So the way you can tell when a pin is set in a Desmo, if they've got a little tiny bit of movement on them like that, they're set. If they're loose, don't touch them. If they're super tight like this one, there's no movement, it needs to go a little bit further. Just a little bit, 1 more click. And there we have it. Everything on the right is set. Everything on the left has been dragged up while I was stuffing around with the right. So I'm going to pull all those straight back down again. Double check I didn't mess anything up on that side. And let's go for the left hand side. Little click out of 3. 4 is binding. Okay, what are we looking at? 4 feels set. There's a little bit of core rotation there. Okay, so we've got pin 1 is rock solid, so I'm going to attack that first. Now, how are we going with pin 1? Still feels solid. 1 more. Okay, yep, so pin 1 is now a little bit loose. I suspect pin 2 needs a bit of a lift. Okay, and now it should just be pin 3 because that's the only one that's rock solid. And there we go. Desmo open. Alright, let's show you what's inside this, because it's pretty cool. Alright, so just to show that it is actually open, and I'll lock it back up again, and then you can see at the back the 2 sidebars, one there and one there. They both spring in and out. Righto. Go for a bit of a zoom in here. So So I'm just going to pop the core straight out the front, grabbing the sidebars so they don't flick off, and you can see both the sidebars are springy. And there's your 8 pins from underneath. Right, so take the sidebars off. Nothing particularly special about the sidebars. A notch for the spring, a lip to interact with the pins, and then a wedge section to interact with the cutout there. So we're going to pop those out real quick. The springs don't seem to fall out of this particular one, so I'm going to leave them in there. And I'm just going to pop out each one of these one at a time, starting with the left hand side rear pin, which for some reason is a bit tight to get out. Come on. And I'll give you a bit of an idea of what the pins look like. So there's that massive overset trap, and there's your true gate just above it, and 2 false gates next to it. So I'm going to put that there. So that was pin 4 on the right hand side. Pin 3, oh sorry, yeah, the right hand side. Got them all ass about. And we go pin 2. Perfect. Just going to pop this little thing up because it sort of hinders me getting out pin 1 on both sides. Pin 1. Give you a close up of these in a second. There's the spring. And pop that out. So that's pin 4 left. Gonna put it there. Pin 3 left. Pin 2 left. And final. Ooh, popped out. Pin 1 left. Alright, so a bit of a close up on those so you can see what's going on. There's all 8 pins and 2 sidebars, and as you can see the springs are still in place for the sidebars. Now the way that you can tell when you're in the right chamber is if you slide your pick along, it actually falls into the chamber where the pin is. So if you slide along to the next one, falls into that chamber. So you really can't get lost in this lock. It's pretty easy to navigate your way around. Nice and easy, right? There you go. As per the package that Artichoke sent me, so it was a trade. I do have some videos coming up, and they are going to be the rest of the locks that he sent. So the locks came with the promise that I was going to pick them all, so I will do that. So let's go and show you what I'm going to be picking coming up. So there's an ASSA Mogul V10, monster of a lock, ASSA Twin Mogul. There's the bitting on the key. It does have a sidebar and 6 top pins. Compared to a regular rim cylinder, it's a bit of a monster. Then there's a Illinois Duo padlock. That's the one that has this double bitting on the key. The lighting's a bit bad today, I don't know how much of that you can see. There's a Medico biaxial and a Medico classic. I think that's the classic and that's the biaxial. This one's grubbed. It's the one where you have to lift and rotate the pins at the same time. So looking forward to Medicos. And that one's grubbed as well. And the bitting on that looks fun, to say the least. Then there's a Schlage Primus. So there's the Primus. It has the 6 pins up the top and the finger pins in the side, with that really fantastically shaped Schlage keyway that I love. Then there's an EVA 3KS in a Japanese format. Look at that wild looking key. And it's just full of sliders. Good fun. And we also have a Medico Duracam, which is essentially like a normal Medico. You have to lift the pins and rotate them, but in a tiny little cam form. So these are the videos coming up. I've also got a giveaway coming up for bare bones lockpicking, so stay tuned for that. But that's my list. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.